This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
Hey, we make a magazine called The Leaf, and it's available in print in 14 states at your local cannabis retailer. When you're picking up that pre-roll, pick up a leaf. It's free. It's also available online for free at leafmagazines.com. I'm Mike Ricker, your host of Leaf Life, with my co-host and the founder of The Leaf in the year 2010, Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJOG.
Hola, aloha, OGs.
And Mary J. White.
Baked with love.
Welcome to the second half of this Leaf Life show called Auto Racing and Cannabis. In just a moment, we'll get into car sponsorship and how it's driving cannabis marketing. And we'll spin AJ's wheel to see what products Joel Martin, who's the co-owner of PRC Retail Chain in Washington State and the father of a professional competitive race car driver. This show's Greg the Guinea Pig is going to be trying next. But first, it's time for Where in the World?
Y ahora es hora de las noticias de cannabis.
It's time for cannabis news from around the world.
Hey, Mary J. White.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear it, baby.
Okay. This is kind of weird, you guys. Okay, just let me say that.
Don't make it weird, Mary.
It's already weird. This country has had to declare a national emergency because, and this isn't really so much about the cannabis in this area. This is about something else. Police in this country have to guard the cemeteries because what is happening is people are digging up skeletons to make the zombie drug. Now, the zombie drug is made up from a bunch of toxic shit. One of its main ingredients is ground up human bones.
No way.
What?
Yes.
No.
The
bones of enemies or just general?
Just general bones. Any kind of fucking bones.
So what's the chemical?
Those are more potent.
What's the compound in there?
It doesn't say. It just says it's a lot of toxic stuff and ground up bones. And apparently, this is really bad for you. And people are dying.
You don't say.
It will turn them into zombies.
It's really bad for you.
Is there fentanyl in bones?
It's because of how high, you guys.
Well, it's just dubbed Kush.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, it's a widespread problem, and dealers have to now be grave robbers in this country. They've broken into thousands of tombs to get skeletons to make the Kush. And where is this? Yeah. It's called Kush. It's not cannabis
Kush. Kush.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Disrespectful.
Like our Kush.
Yeah, but it's
They're
there.
using our name.
Yeah. Copyright infringement.
Anyway, this sad situation is happening in Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, Africa, East Africa.
So watch out if you're going to Africa because people be eating dead people.
This sounds like trickery.
Did you also get that story from Dr. Phil, like Wes?
No.
Okay.
What?
I'm really.
Hey, I used to hate Dr. Phil. My mom would be like, Dr. Phil is, you need to learn something from him. Even as an adult, like as a parent, she'd be like, Dr. Phil. I'd be like, fuck Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil is like, had it.
Yeah.
With all this woke shit. And he is launching his own network and his own news source.
Whatever.
So, I'm pretty pro Dr. Phil now. Because we need more common sense.
I was never a fan. I always thought it was sort of kind of full of bullshit. But
hell,
that's just me.
You should do a show on Dr. Phil. And by the way, Sierra Leone.
Dr. Phil Good.
Sierra Leone. Mm-hmm. My brother was a merchant marine, and he brought me back a necklace from there one time.
Really?
Wow.
Was it made of human bones?
No, it's got some arrowhead or something on it.
That's kind of cool.
Human
I'll
bone.
wear it one of these days.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mary J. White.
You're welcome,
AJ,
dear.
spin that wheel and see what Joel's going to be hitting next.
All right, y'all. So we got this hash hole right here.
That's an inflatable weed maps joint.
Here you go, my friend. Hit that.
No way. That thing's like 5 feet long.
I'm just playing. These hash holes, though, they're pretty much that. You know
What'd you
what
call
I'm
me?
saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
hash hole.
This is Above the Clouds hash hole premium flower times rosin infused pre-roll. The Zoap.
Soap.
One of those S for the Z type of things. Times RBGMO. This is coming to us from the beautiful state of California, y'all.
Yeah.
So let's get this lit.
You're about to get above the clouds, brother.
Aye.
Yes, Wes?
Here we
And a
go.
hash hole is called a hash hole because it's a joint rolled with a little tube of infused cannabis concentrate in the center. And then when it burns, it should burn well enough that the oil vaporizes and then leaves a little hole in the ash.
Nice.
And that's how you know if it's a good hash hole is on the ash. There's a little hole right through it.
I love that.
And then you go through a black hole, and then you're totally in space.
AJ just warmed it up for you with a fat toe.
See that?
That chick's a real stoner, man. Tell you
Bottoms
what,
up, baby.
you're like one of the biggest stoners I've ever known, AJ.
No shit.
When you handle your shit, you know, you're like, get all
Successful stoner, my friend.
100%.
Remember
True
when that was
OG,
an insult
baby.
to be
Yeah.
like, you're the biggest
Thank you,
stoner
friend.
I know?
Stoner.
All right, we're going to have to smoke this until the hole comes out, right? I mean, it's the only right thing to do.
I'm gonna find the hole.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
driving cannabis marketing, you know, because it's a normalized sport. I mean, look,
it's beautiful.
how many people watch NASCAR, brother, and drink their Miller Lite, ... It's an extremely popular sport worldwide with, you know, Formula One now coming to Vegas and such. When are companies going to see that ability to capitalize on that audience and start taking cannabis money? Because it is a platform for high level marketing.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing it.
Oh, yeah.
We are through our CBD company.
PRCBD?
PRCBD. We are
Find it online, right?
Absolutely.
PRCBD.com?
That's correct.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell I do this a lot. Anyway, it's pretty amazing. I mean, we are definitely the first CBD company here in Washington State to advertise on a NASCAR level race car.
Dude.
So I
Nice.
know there's some other, you know, companies out there. Green Dragon, I believe they sponsored a car, I believe in the Xfinity series. But either way, here in Washington State, we are been the first. And so it's been fun to be able to take advantage of that.
Dope.
And
I
you're
love
certainly
it.
the first to sponsor your own car, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
to be a part of a racing team that's also connected to cannabis. Because I've heard of cannabis companies sponsoring cars in different states.
Sure.
You know, but they're not the driver.
Right.
They're not working on the car. And
Right.
that's kind of like seed to sale.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you guys are the real team.
Yeah, I mean, to
The
clarify,
weed team.
Yeah, I mean, to clarify, obviously, we're not promoting getting high and going out and racing cars. That's not what we're doing.
Definitely not.
And we don't recommend that.
But again, just like anyone would have a beer, maybe while they're working on the car or something like that. I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
While watching.
Or while watching, it's just like any other kind of sport and any kind of lifestyle kind of a event that you're doing, right? So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But having a team is key, right? Like you can't, regardless if it's cannabis or not, you can't be doing it unless you got some other players involved. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
I always there's a meme about how NASCAR drivers, they have their brands all over them.
Yeah.
And we should have that be the same requirement for our politicians. So we can see who's actually,
Yes.
because it'd be like ExxonMobil. and
Really?
Pfizer would be like half the
half the
suit.
thing.
All the same companies. Home Depot.
yeah, no, that actually, Wes, I've thought of that before, definitely.
But it takes a village and it takes, sponsorship and advertising to make those wheels turn. And the fact that it is an opportunity to be promoting CBD to an audience that is, like you said, Ricker, huge. But I think if you, stereotypically you think of racing and alcohol like Budweiser and watching NASCAR,
Right.
you don't think
There's
weed.
that
And so
hole
this is
right
that
there.
chance to change the perspective and get a new demographic involved in racing.
Absolutely. And where cannabis would come into play is in recovery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to accidents. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to, your forearms being completely sore from having to do several laps in a car.
So even if you don't get in an accident, you're still exhausted.
You're exhausted.
From the tension and the
Correct.
focus.
Correct. And think of the
Stressful.
pressure that the car seats and everything even put on your body and the belts and everything, right? Like you're going to be a little sore when you're done. And it's the kind of good sore that you like, right? But you're still sore. I several times I'm like, after an accident, I've had to put CBD balm or, whatever I have, a salve on Lynn's back, we'll make sure that he's good to go. there's always that concern of the concussion potentially if he hits his head or if someone hits their head.
Whiplash.
Absolutely.
And cannabis is a neuroprotectant.
Dude.
And, it's one of the few things that can help in neuroregeneration. And so when you think about brain injuries of any kind, sports, racing, stuff like that, I believe this immediately after an MMA fight or a car accident, you should be taking cannabinoids because those go right into your body and they're protecting the brain. And you can do that with CBD where you can recover without the intoxication.
Correct.
So if you can't get intoxicated, there's still this whole world of products.
There's been several occasions where we're like, okay, he's going to bed with a sore body and with a headache coming on. And, we've applied, a salve or whatever. And, there's been times we've given him a doozy, that's very CBD forward. And, he wakes up the next morning refreshed, ready to go. And so that's
so
pretty
good.
amazing.
Well, cannabis was in, 2/3 of pharmacopoeia 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 2/3 of medicine, anything pain related had
Trusted
cannabis in it.
resource.
Right.
And it's like when my daughter broke her leg, they gave us Oxycontin. I was like, okay, this is for when my back hurts.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you're
Right.
10 years old. I'm not giving you fucking Oxys.
No way.
Yeah.
And luckily she didn't need cannabinoids either. But if I had to choose, I'm going topicals. I'm going even a CBD tincture. I had a dog that had surgery in the family and they sent them home with prescription CBD. It was so expensive. And I was like, hey, don't pay for this. Like, the vet upcharge was ridiculous. But I was like, if they send the dog home with CBD, we can give that to the kids.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if your kid's in pain, you will do anything to help them.
That's the truth.
And it's funny you say that because that is kind of what we promote out at the track. Obviously, we PR CBD, for people and pets because it is a cannabinoid, and mammals have that in their system, right? So, and people can connect with that. It's usually their children or their pets, right?
Yeah.
So,
or the elderly too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of older folks who are really into racing and they go every weekend. And, whether you crash cars or not, you have aches and pains.
Absolutely.
And CBD is that door opener. And then you get people and you're like, okay, now there's the entourage effect and the THC. And, I've noticed it very recently, like even we flew to Baltimore recently, like Ricker said, lady sitting next to me asked the most dreaded question when you work in the weed industry. What do you do for a living? And I'm like, and my girlfriend is like, oh, he owns a weed magazine. I'm like, God damn it. Because, you assume you're going to be judged. And the lady was like, oh, I take gummies to sleep. But I didn't bring any. Can I, and then helped her find some in Baltimore.
I love that.
I'm so glad I ran into you.
But it's all that foot in the door. And when they see it driving in the circle, they see it at the track.
Yep.
They see it on the podium.
Speaking
and they're
of
like, it must
Baltimore.
be winning.
Yeah, he's podiumed.
This dope design is from Baltimore, you guys.
That's so cool.
It's from the Relief, those Relief guys. Yeah.
Pot deals.
What's up, Maryland?
I wore it for you, homie.
Hey, Joel, now it's time for you to play HE double hockey sticks.
What the hell is this?
This is HE double hockey sticks.
Joel, as Wes's favorite band AC/DC says, we're on a highway to hell. So at least let's have some fun along the way, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So hell is in each of these questions. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This plus-sized tattooed country rapper singer whose birth name is Jason Bradley DeFord performed the song Halfway to Hell from his 2023 album Witsit Chapel on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Who's the performer, the artist?
Isn't that Scott guy, Travis Scott?
No, he's a rapper.
No, you know what?
Rubbing the tummy.
I don't know.
For a little hint ski.
Wes knows.
Jelly roll.
Jelly roll.
Jelly roll.
You know who that dude is, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But I'm obviously not with it right now.
No, bro. You just smoked a fucking hash roll. I saw you take like 4 tokes and he's about to go in for a 5th.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Pumping the brakes.
AJ,
what the hell?
Is the hole in there?
Oh,
In the ash?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It is.
Check
Look
it
at
out.
That's a good hash
Can
roll.
you guys see that right there?
Definitely can. Wow.
I see it.
AJ finally got stoned.
Yeah.
Number 2. If you say that you are determined to do something despite any difficulties there might be, what is the phrase you might use to punctuate your intention? It has the word hell in it.
Would it be a handbasket?
Has the word hell in it.
To hell in a
Hell in a
handcart?
handbasket?
That's incorrect, but we'll give him a right answer because it's come hell or high water.
High water.
High water.
Why not?
Yeah, that other saying.
Come hell or high water. All right, and now number 3. This is what the bearded Lorax exclaimed upon returning to his hollow redwood log home on the eastern topside of Wallace Falls State Park when he walked in to see that a rogue male black bear had fallen aslumber in his bed after raiding his cupboards for his spring supply of salmon tail jerky, honeysuckle jam, and bald eagle butter, which were splayed about the domicile with obvious remnants on the sleepy, stunned bear's muzzle. What is it that the bearded Lorax said?
Jesus Christ. What the hell just happened?
No eagles are harmed in the making of
What
butter.
was the question?
Boy, everybody's
What
super
did I
high.
say?
Wrong answer.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, dun dun.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. Well, shit. Of
Joel,
course.
where can we find you on social media, brother?
Oh my gosh. Actually, I'm one of those guys that's pretty low key on social media. You can find me on Facebook.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the Addy, bro?
Dude, I don't have an
Well,
ad.
it's just
What about for
How am I supposed
PRC?
to- PRC? Yeah,
Yeah.
we have PRC WA Edmonds, we have PRC WA Conway, and we have PRC WA Arlington.
Arlington.
The WA is spelled
Okay.
W-A.
And
Yeah.
PRCBD.com?
Yes. Yes. Damn ash hole.
Yeah. Joel, thank you so much for being on the Leaf Live podcast, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, Wes, next week, life coaching.
I think we could all use a little life coaching.
Going above the
Absolutely.
clouds.
Not me, man.
tonight.
You're perfect, Mary.
That's right.
Download this and all Leaf Life episodes at leafmagazines.com. And please subscribe on YouTube at Leaf Life Podcast V2. Now get ready for another episode of Stony Baloney, which is also available at leafmagazines.com. And please be kind to animals and bald eagles.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies. Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Amsterdam Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer. Now, please stay tuned for this week's edition of Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
The consumption assumption. Boy, do we take things for granted or what? I mean, sure, we could dedicate our precious moments towards considering the possibility of where we might be if these ant piles called cities weren't constructed before our birth. But who the heck has time to reflect on the persistence of humanity and how it scratched its way to the top of the food chain when there's malls to scope and Taco Bells to ring? I know what you're thinking. Here we go again with a rant about the annoyances of a complacent civilization. But it's just that if we don't wake up and smell the couch pillow, shit's gonna get out of hand and we're going to be running from T-Rexes. At the new Jurassic Park in Texas. Where were we? Oh yes, running from ravenous, razor-toothed sprinters with a preference for anything stoned and lazy that smells like refried beans. And I can promise you that there were many a hairier poor dude back in the day who ended up a delicious buffet for wild beasts who didn't give a shit about him missing his orthodontics appointment. And you can rest assured that the main factor that kept those far more ill-equipped savages taking risks by venturing beyond the safety of their comfortable cave was to create a better future for their lineage, so that those offspring could have easy access to packets of fire sauce. So please keep in mind that the food that arrives on your doorstep hot and delicious with fresh ingredients is not something you truly have license to throw a tantrum about because it came 3 minutes late. When your sense of entitlement proves that overpopulation is the biggest risk to our mental and physical ability to continue comfortably as a species, try to remember that if it weren't for systems put into place for your protection, not only would you be speaking German and eating schnitzel for breakfast, but you might be breakfast. Or you could be sent to live in Texas.
Stony baloney. Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker or Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.